I know a lot of people were thinking, could be upset alert for the Ravens, right? Week one, you played, any of the starters in the preseason. What's gonna happen, right? How is it gonna go? Even last week when I previewed the season, talked a little bit about the Jets too. I'm thinking, I don't know, could be upset season, but the Ravens ended up getting it going late, and they pulled out the win. So let's see. But was it a good game? Did they play well? Right? There's still, I would say there's still a little cause for concern. All right, what is going on, good people? Back at it again. DJ from Bill Productions, Flock Nation Speaks. I don't think this is the official. I think the preview is going to be the official episode. Still be the long one. This is just a little recap of the Ravens versus the Jets, as the Ravens ended up getting the Week 1 win, 24-9, against the Jets in a slow. At first, at least, it was slow at first. And I think that might have been what we all expected. Right? There may have been a little frustration, I think, by Ravens flock and all of that, but we probably expected it to be a little slow, just because the starters didn't play the entire preseason. They usually play a little bit, but especially because of how last year played out, they decided, we're not gonna play the starters this preseason. So, taking it easy, taking it slow a little bit, and that's kind of how the game started. It's interesting to see, real quick, in terms of the stats. Lamar Jackson, 17 for 30 for 213, 3 touchdowns, one bad pick at the end. Probably probably could have been taken out by that point, but nonetheless, one pick at the end. And then Kenyon Drake, 11 rushes for 31 yards. Lamar Jackson, 6 rushes for 17. Mike Davis, 2 for 11. And Justice Hill, 2 for 4. Receiving wise, Bateman on the offensive end had 2 catches for 59 yards and a TD. Devin Duvernay, 4 catches for 54 yards and 2 TDs. Mark Andrews, 5 catches, 52 yards. No TDs for him. Demarcus Robinson had 2 catches for 19. Kenyon reeled in a catch. Justice Hill had one. Patrick Ricard had one. Tylen had I know he had a target, but he didn't catch that one. And likely, I know he had at least one target, if I'm not mistaken. And he didn't catch that one. The defense was good, though. The defense was impressive. Marcus Williams with his first interception of the year, as a Raven, really, getting it going a little bit. That was good to see. And plenty of tackles to add to it. Patrick Queen was up there high in the tackle count, and so was Marlon Humphrey. Just a good overall effort from the Ravens defense, especially early on. Speaking of, let's talk about the defense. I think the defense was as advertised. They got after Joe Flacco early in this one. It really did feel like they were really coming after Joe Flacco in this one. Justin Houston was I mean, he felt like he was all over the place in this one. Patrick Queen, with the half sack too. Calais Campbell got him one. It felt like the older guys were, they was back in the in game shape or something. It was back in the end of that prime shape again with Justin Houston and Calais getting the sacks. But nonetheless, the defense looked good. The coverage looked good on the back end. I was so excited. Of course, the now confirmed torn ACL for Kyle Fuller is big. Really a huge deal because I think he provided depth more than anything. Like, I think you got Marlon, you got Marcus Peters too, but I think at the same time, like, Kyle Fuller was going to be that kind of. He could have easily been like the ace in the hole for the Ravens this season, and unfortunately with the torn ACL, that hurts him. Another one on the injury front, Jawan James went down with the torn Achilles on the offensive line, so that continues that rolling carousel of offensive line play that we've seen over the past couple of years for the Ravens, especially since Marshall Yanda retired. It's been kind of an uproar at the offensive line position, but nonetheless, McCarry stepped in, played pretty well. I want to see if they're going to move Morgan Moses back to the left, because actually Morgan Moses, that's a tough decision, right? That's a tough decision to make, because with Morgan Moses, if you move him back to the left, when Ronnie Stanley does come back, then you're moving Morgan Moses back to the right, right? So he's going to get used to, blocking from the left side and then have to switch it again. And that's a lot for an offensive lineman. I know McCarry does it like it's nothing sometimes, right? He's like the Swiss Army knife of the offensive line, but still, like it's crazy to think, man. But overall, I think it was a slow game, especially early on, especially like first quarter, first half-ish too. Like was very slow. It was a very slow and sluggish game. It was very defensive. It was almost traditional Ravens football. It's like what before Lamar Jackson came, what the Ravens fans expected from a Ravens game, right? You expected it to be a little slow and eventually the offense to get going, maybe, or maybe they want the defense to win the game, that that's just how it typically goes. But glad the offense got going. I think it was Bateman was the first touchdown, that big like 50-yard TD that he reeled in on the deep throw from Lamar. And then I know Duvernay. Actually, I want to say Duvernay, the way he caught that. I think he was the first one, and then Bateman was the second one. But Duvernay catching the ball over defenders was a sight to see, and something that Ravens fans haven't seen in a while. That contested catch from a wide receiver. It has been a minute since the Ravens have seen that in terms of like jump ball wise, right? I mean, Hollywood has some contested catches and stuff like that, but some catches in traffic, stuff like that. But I feel like to see like the jump ball style throw that the Ravens don't throw a lot, but it felt like they were taking more chances, even on that interception. That goes back to kind of probably what's going to be the buzzword of the season: cohesion, right? Getting pieces back. Where do they fit? How do they fit? And how do you fit all of the pieces together? That's going to be the biggest thing, because there's a lot of new pieces and there's a lot of returning pieces. More than anything, there's returning pieces, and how do they return? Like, how do they get to the form that they want to get to? You got JK still. He was out for this game. Gus was still out for this game. So, how do these guys return to form when they finally get back? And what, how many weeks does it take them not only to get back, but then to return to form as well? So that's the biggest thing. It's going to be cohesion, I think, for the Ravens this year. I think chemistry, getting that chemistry back, getting that mojo back again, like they need, like they're going to need to find, how to fit the pieces together, I think, when it comes down to it. So, offensively, I think the offense played pretty good, considering Lamar Jackson hasn't played since mid-November or so of last year, probably early November, really, when you think about it. And then, of course, there's new guys in new places, right? Duvernay's getting opportunities that he probably, and he played like he's been wanting these opportunities, been like thriving, fobbing at the mouth for these opportunities. But at the same time, I think it's foaming at the mouth. Anyway, at the same time, right? Like he's been waiting for these opportunities, right? And it felt like he played like he wanted these opportunities. Didn't see much of Prochet in this one, but it was more, it was more Duvernay and Bateman and Andrews, of course. It's more those guys. Demarcus Robinson, he got in on the action a little bit, and that's, once again, that's the cohesion of it. That's the chemistry of it. Getting Demarcus Robinson and Lamar haven't played together yet. At least Bateman and Duvernay have played with Lamar, so and they're in a different role. They're in a different role. They're in a different place, and that's going to take some time to develop that chemistry. To see what that's going to be like. But definitely a good win. Definitely a good win. Shout out to Juggernaut Justin, hoping that the Steelers and Bengals would have tied yesterday. I don't know how I was feeling about that one. I felt like the Bengals were going to somehow look up and win the game with 5 turnovers. Like, I mean, you give the ball away 5 times. How in the world do the Steelers allow you to like just can't put it away? Neither team could put it away, it felt like. But the Steelers did end up pulling that one out, which was good. I'm happy about that. Kind of shut the Bengals up a little bit, nonetheless. But honestly, I mean, I feel like it was a good week 1 win. It's definitely getting things going. I know the Ravens are probably feeling kind of revenge game-esque for this next one, like grudge match-esque for this next one with the Dolphins, considering how they embarrassed them on Thursday Night Football last year. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond. Of course, the Dolphins won't have the same defense per se, but more talent on offense. So to see what the Ravens defense does, especially who's going to take the place of Kyle Fuller, because that's a big loss. Who takes the place for him? Could Jimmy Smith be back? maybe. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know who they'll sign, in that role. So maybe a practice squad guy, who knows? But should be interesting to see what they do in that regard. It should be good. Hopefully, Marcus Peters will be back as well. Marcus Williams played great, I felt like, too, in his debut. Felt like he was everywhere. Felt like Kyle Hamilton got some snaps in, which was good, easing him in as well. Yeah, yeah. Chiefs Kingdom, yeah. The Chiefs ended up getting. They looked good too. No Tyreek, no problem, right? They looked good. I was impressed by the Chiefs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not expecting. I'm not gonna say I expected them to implode. I just expected Tyreek Hill to be a bigger deal. Now, albeit it's week one. Maybe I'll do an overreaction Monday video each week, overreacting to literally every NFL game or something, for the fun of it. But nonetheless, I'm gonna sign off. I got the preview for the Dolphins Ravens game, which I'll actually be at in Baltimore. So I'm excited. Preview coming very, very soon. So be on the lookout. Get your binoculars out and be on the lookout. But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. You know that you can always watch or listen to Flock Nation Speaks on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, etc., etc. I'm on Facebook sometimes too, so be sure to tune in, listen in, leave your comments. How you think the Ravens played? Was it How do you think your team played? If I didn't catch it or if I may have missed it, I need to know how you think. But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one, and as always, until next time.